Put your iPhones.
Good evening, welcome to Talking Points. My name is Levi Connors. Tonight we are going to be discussing the political happenings of the week, and to join me in doing so are my resident panelists, Cornelius Chepsoi, Juma Muricho, and David Oyola. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Glad to have you guys here.
It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure. Eh?
Yes.
So let me start by just asking you, out of the last 1 week or so in the political happenings, what has stood out for you as a highlight? Something you'd like to mention, either good, bad?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Something has happened that my friend Chepsoi has joined BBI officially, and he did pay my party leader a visit, Honorable Raila Odinga, and he's now in the planning committee of Rift Valley as a BBI, fully fledged BBI member.
Now you are trying to hoodwink the public.
And another thing that has happened is that Nairobi has been taken up by the national government, something that is so good, because actually there was a gap and Nairobians were missing out on key essential services, and now they're going to get what they deserve, being served by the national government. And Sonko knew that his fate was already determined, and in 48 laws of power, law number 22, there is always a chance for you to withdraw when you feel you're going to lose. So he knew very well that he was going to lose.
Does it say
through an impeachment.
Quoted that law.
No. The law says use withdrawal, where you feel like you're going to lose. And you know, Sonko knew he was going to be impeached.
That law talks about a tactical withdrawal for a later attack.
Yeah, for a later attack, and that's what I'm actually saying. That's what I'm actually saying. That he withdrew because he knew he was going to lose this. So he's regrouping, or rather re-energizing for another battle. That is very clever of him.
Okay.
But you know, he didn't want that humiliation of impeachment. And now I know he's now going to go back maybe to be a member of parliament or a senator. And I know he can be a good senator to the able governor of 2022, Honorable Tim Wanyonyi.
All right. What stood out for you, David?
Now, what stood out for me, and
we will expand that last comment and remove it from the records.
What stood out for me, and I agree with my friend Nico Muricho for acknowledging our new friend who has joined BBI.
Yeah.
And we want to welcome him officially. I feel at home. You can pick any room and you stay inside it. BBI is a big vehicle. You can get in there anywhere. Number two, what stood out for me is that Tanga had a problem with BBI initially. They were saying that it was about seats. People were meeting a room to divide seats. They are not talking about these old reports like TJRC, Ndungu Land Report. And I'm glad that my friend from Narok, Senator Olekina, brought out the Ndungu Land Report bear. And it's funny enough, just like chameleon as they are always, Tanga has now changed and called it incitement. Yet now we are talking about the real issues.
Chepsoi,
I am so glad that
you have been hammered by the two gentlemen. You were seen at Capitol Hill.
All along I didn't know this is important.
Apparently,
The handshake.
I mean, these guys, in a country where there are more serious issues, they are actually...
Yeah, it's surprising. You have been here week after week bashing the BBI, and then suddenly Twitter was awash with your pictures. You know,
having visited Raila, did anybody
having visited Raila Odinga?
I have joined BBI.
Can you care to clear what was that about?
Of course I'm going to, but the question you asked initially was what stood out for me.
Yes.
Me, first of all, what stood out for me was Echesa. Echesa and the military...
Yeah, the fiasco.
Fiasco. I'm still waiting to know whether it was real, imagined, or just some...
It's one of our topics.
Yeah, or just some creation.
In terms of the... Yes, and I think we'll start with that one, yes.
And the death of the young gentleman.
Yes.
I mean, I'm still trying to come to terms with whether he committed suicide. I lived there before. I lived in Villafranca. So I'm trying to imagine those houses because I know how they look like.
Yeah. And
whether somebody went in to kill him or they carried their body, or it's just not possible. Those houses are so small.
They are.
The compounds are really tiny. It's impossible for somebody to come into that compound and the neighbor.
Yeah. I have a relative who lives in that court, that particular one.
It's not possible.
Who is one of the neighbors of the late Kene. You're right, it's impossible.
To me, that's the shocking thing.
Yeah.
That people could be imagining the purchase of 40 billion worth of military equipment in this country, in the deputy president's office, and suddenly a young man dies, and now we're not even talking about the arms, we're talking about the death of the young man.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's got to be a web that needs to be employed.
Okay, and we'll come to that very shortly. So clear the air.
Yeah, I'm going to clear the air. For real, I went to see Raila. You know, every day we sit here, Levy, this gentleman accused me of not understanding BBI. So I decided to go and hear it from the horse's mouth. I was hoping to hear something spectacular. Spectacular. Just to be surprised I've been right all along. And in any case,
But you took a photo where you were smiling from ear to ear, like you are really,
we
like you had understood quite well what
Yes.
was.
You see,
I think he didn't realize that a photo was being taken. He's actually surprised
He
that we
didn't
know.
realize.
That was his phone.
You know,
Yeah.
like I'm telling
And you were trending after that.
In fact, not just here. I was trending on Facebook,
Yeah.
I was trending on WhatsApp, I was trending literally everywhere. And I'm actually surprised. I didn't know that I had that much impact.
I know
wait.
Chepsoi
So my
identifies
time
himself. Chepsoi
So
identifies
wrap it up because we
himself.
need to move to something else.
I need to say,
Yes.
I actually intended to go and make my own meeting with Raila. Unfortunately, he came late. The idea was to meet him at 8 o'clock, and he was late, and the guy we went with was in a hurry to go somewhere else. So basically, when he came, we all took a photo.
So you just took photos and left.
Yeah, and left. I mean, we didn't even have the discussion that I was hoping to have.
Mm.
But
So what does he mean when he says
Interesting.
he's
Interesting.
been right all this time?
No, we won't interrogate that matter
But-
any further. I think Kenyans
But I know he
deduce from
identifies
this-
he identifies himself with the Honorable Raila Odinga because
They can
Honorable
deduce
Raila
themselves.
Odinga is the
Yeah.
people's president,
Yes.
and he's the
Yes.
people's senator
Yeah.
of
So
Eastern
just
Marakwet.
let me start from
there's no
the
problem.
because we have quite a number of things to cover in terms of political happenings of the week. So let's start with the issue of Echeza and the visit and the things that surround it. By now, of course, you've gotten a lot of information about it. Maybe not enough, but enough to know that apparently there were some people who complained. Remember, I don't believe that they said it was an investigation being done. Really, it was a complaint by the guys who are getting conned that began the whole issue. And they said they were getting conned by this gentleman and some people who are masquerading to be in the military. And then it came to the limelight. We saw it in the media that they had been arrested and taken to the police station, and they had documents apparently allegedly forging some CSS signatures, as well as some people in the military, some guy masquerading there as a military officer. And then it took a really big turn when this bodyguard died. Just your thoughts about that.
What is astonishing me even up to now is that
Yeah.
we've been told that investigations are going on, which has been a norm in this country for so long, yet for nothing big. Because up to now, there's no any arrest that has been made. And you see this was a scandal. Transacting such
An
business
arrest
in
with regards to what? The murder?
regards to the status of
The-
an office of a deputy president being used for wrong reasons. We can't say that it's okay and it's right for some people to do such things. And whoever was arrested, who is Echesa, was released. And nothing more is going on. Then immediately he's released, someone dies. A precious life has been lost. I've been looking at this friend of mine, Kenei. He's our age, so I'm right to call him a friend. He was hoping to wed in August.
Yeah.
So if I'm to look at the motive of him taking away his life, there is almost zero. But a motive of someone taking away his life because of some information, there are chances of 70% or even above.
Yeah.
So it's very astonishing that these things are happening in a country in such a century, 21st century, and nothing is being done.
First of all, I want to tell Mauricio something. You're making very serious allegations on the office of the Deputy President. And that's not to defend him. Because even the Deputy President himself has written to DCI asking for this thing to be investigated. So when you say that something like this was done in his office, it would mean that we are saying already that the office of the Deputy President, in the person of the Deputy and maybe the senior most managers of that office, participated. The question should be, how the hell did a Polish guy come to Kenya? You remember there are two stories. In fact, the government should have arrested those two gentlemen first and kept them in a cell in this country so that they can unravel. Let me ask you, Levi, would you leave Poland to come and sell arms in Kenya?
Yeah.
Yeah? If you really...
Doesn't this remind us of the Artur
saga.
And Artur Margayan.
Yeah.
story,
This
The
story
Armenians
is
who came
bigger than-
and shook us up here and disappeared.
In my view,
The-
the reason that those two gentlemen are not arrested today is that it's actually bigger than the Deputy President's office. It's something that nobody wants to talk about. Remember, Artur, the two brothers, were actually given a chair in the police force. They were very senior police guys.
And they lived in Runda.
They lived in Runda. In fact, where they lived is not even important. It is the sheer fact that they were members of the police force of Kenya. Literally, they could access very important places in this country. We do not even know whether the police guys had been given cheo or military. Now, secondly, have you heard anybody deny those people whose signatures are said to have been
Forged.
On those
forged?
papers, yeah.
None of them has come out to deny. Number two, William, the deputy president, has asked very valid questions. I mean, granted, his office is it's a crime scene right now. But he has asked a very valid question. So fine, they came to my office for 23 minutes. It's available, it's on video. But the question he has asked is, how did they access DOD? DOD has not come out to defend itself. Neither have they said, have they requested for those people to be detained so they can provide, because this is, you cannot just sell arms.
So
Even if
you're
a
saying
manufacturer of arms,
cover up
here's my
of
point.
epic proportions.
It's epic because no country, no manufacturer of military equipment can sell military to a country without the whole world knowing. If today you're a manufacturer of arms, say in the US, the whole of this intelligence in Russia, in UK, everywhere will know. And it's stated, you're selling, that's why they make it clear. They have bought military equipment from country X. You remember that when Kenya was trying to buy planes from US, used planes, what they call tractors.
Yes.
The whole world was in this thing. Because people monitor movement of military equipment because people are afraid that countries can pretend to be buying military equipment on behalf of
And arming
worlds.
militia. Yeah.
And arming militias.
Right.
So the point I have is, if I am the president of this Republic of Kenya, the office of the deputy president in my government has been named about military equipment. For the love of God, I will camp on that thing until it's unraveled.
Oyola.
I mean, armed business globally is a very lucrative business. And if you look at my friend, people like Akina Chesa getting into it, having the background of who they are, even if you are in that kind of category, you can be lured into that business. So I don't blame Echeza as much because it's a lucrative business. In fact, the story about armed business in Kenya and in terms of who purchases arms for who has been in this country for quite a while. Remember in the 1960s, they accused Jaramogi Oginga Odinga for having procured arms to overthrow the first president of the Republic of Kenya. And the same story went to until the time of Akina Njonjo, when Njonjo was also accused of bringing arms to the country to overthrow Moi in the early 1980s, before the 1982 coup. And when you look at it, always it comes when somebody is a victim, either a perceived heir apparent. When Jaramogi Kenyatta saw that it was going to be either the next person who can remove him from power, he was given such very serious allegation that the U.S. government, U.S. intelligence agencies had to come to the Kenya to make sure they investigate. They went to his house, they found a few assortment, the same to Njonjo. And Moi also saw that Njonjo could be another person who could remove him from power. And so when it comes to the office of the deputy president, it looks like history also repeats itself. And sometimes we have to look at this matter on a very broad perspective.
Before even
I want to assume that it was a con game. But again, I want to assume that maybe some militia groups in Sudan or whatever were using some conduits locally to use them as conveyor belts to get weapons to those counties to continue with the
So you're again
militia
saying more than
activities.
Mr. I.
I only want to compare these guys with their tours because they are two brothers because they're nothing close to each other. But Chepso is questioning how these guys did access the DOD. But he's not telling us how they did access the office of the deputy president.
No, he's saying check everything.
To even hold a meeting for 23 minutes in a deputy president's office. We cannot exonerate him. There are security checks. Someone cleared them in the office of the deputy president. And after clearing them, they knew very well what they were going to do in that office. So the question that I'm left asking myself is was there an arms deal? You know, we cannot just say it was a con game. Maybe it's true there was an arms deal, but now to where?
Do you guys think we will ever get to the bottom of this?
First, I want to, correct the sentiment he's making. I am not exonerating the deputy president. Neither am I accusing him. You know, this country, there's a lot of concealment of information. And I'm sorry, Levi, to tell you also, the media in this country is not investing a lot of resource on actually digging out this information on behalf of the public. Because obviously by now, we would have an idea what exactly happened. Even, in fact, I've seen a clip, doing rounds, which we don't even know whether it's true, about a Polish radio.
Yeah, I've seen that clip too.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, what I'm basically saying is it that this country has no government?
Have we become
Let's start
a
being
banana state?
realistic. That somebody could actually imagine or actually carry out an intended con game or an intended purchase of military grade equipment, and actually go to the deputy president's office with or without his knowledge. And please, let's also be honest. I mean, Echeza isn't learned, and I have no embarrassment to say here, because the guy we know, he dropped off school. But I'm just saying, where do these guys get the confidence to actually drive through the gate in the deputy president's office, sit there for 23 minutes, sign a document, and get out with a Polish? And then I'm also asking myself, these Polish guys, because we must start being really serious about this issue. If they are serious arms dealers, how stupid could they get? This is Africa. There are so many coups. How stupid could they get to fly into this country, pay HS at 10 million, and actually go to the deputy president's office to sign an arms deal?
It could still happen.
So the question
Yes,
again,
I'm just saying.
I asked.
So are they
That thing
stupid
came.
or they were really
It was hot news,
good?
and of course, as you know, right now, if you look at the interesting thing is if you study our news, you realize that news has quickly moved from the top tier, and is somewhere hapo katikati, headed very quickly towards.
And Kenyans forget very
towards
fast.
the back.
Actually, they have already forgotten about
Yeah. So
this.
the question is, will we ever get to know what happened? Because did we ever get to know about the Magarians, by the way?
I don't know.
Up to now.
In fact,
Who knows?
They left story closed, and your story leash up. So.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now let me give you another one that we'll all remember.
Yeah.
Jimmy Wanjiki. When they broke his house, they said they found a cache of arms. What happened?
They said they were licensed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This country, yeah,
He's saying in terms of the story, where did the story go?
yeah, we must
And-
start
and-
admitting
He was actually
that
acquitted.
either this country is run by idiots, and I have no apology to make, because things of this magnitude, my friend, will take down a president.
Yeah.
So we must start accepting that either this country is run by idiots, or we are the idiots.
But in all
That we
the
can get played to the extent that our life is hanging on a balance.
So now,
Or
given the
an
fact
intelligence-
that
an
that
intelli-
happened, and then coincidentally or not, somebody involved in that ended up dying, whether it was murder or it was suicide. The coincidence cannot be brushed away, but it so happened that just around the same time, the bodyguard also
Died.
died in circumstances that are unclear.
Unclear.
my basic analysis on this,
And so
especially
that
on the part of the death,
Was he a bodyguard
If-
or was he a security guard?
He
it
said
was just
he was
those
a security
police. He was a
guard.
He was
security.
actually-
at the gate.
And he's a police officer.
From what I have gathered from the media and whatnot, he wasn't really the deputy president's bodyguard.
He was like the guy at the
No,
gate.
He was
yeah,
at the.
Yes.
He was manning the deputy president of. He comes from this. There's a body that mans government buildings, VIP buildings.
Yeah.
basically.
So given all those stories,
He was the guy,
And-
the top
with that
guy,
as a-
the person in
as a
charge.
background, are we also going to ever get to know
No.
what happened to
It will
I
be
mean,
difficult.
let's face it.
In fact, we can only urge the parents the family to just lay the good brother to rest. The rest we leave to God. In the country that we live, we will never be accountable for such actions. But in all this scenario, the only person I sympathize with is my brother from William Ruto, because it seems like he's the guy in the mix. In fact, even when the incident happened, the first day the arms deal, the report came out to the media. When you looked at the kind of statement that was coming from his office, and you'd wonder which kind of people does he employ, it was so contradictory. You look at it even from a basic point of view. There are people who are very incoherent, they're chaos, they're chaotic. Nothing makes sense from his office. But I don't think he can, such a thing can go into his personal, private boardroom without his knowledge. We have all been in offices where the big guys are. When they get to the office, they ask them, what is up, what is new, what is on the table? You know this thing.
Surprisingly, in my view, such a thing can be done without the deputy president. You know why? Let me explain. Because I have had the privilege of going to that office and a few others. It's very senior.
People can scheme in this
I am
country.
telling you.
And as we cannot
the
go to
number
that
of
office.
brokers in
brokers
that-
the way?
what they call
You can access that office.
what when you have a street.
Yeah.
I am telling you, those guys can pay their way into
There are many.
anybody's office.
That was the headquarters of brokers
I know-
in
I
town.
know.
If you remember the story, which we don't even know today, you remember the story that emanated about the issue of
Samir.
the
Merali.
Samir guy. People who went to his office and walked out with money, and they said they actually took the presidential escort vehicles there.
Yeah.
Full gear.
How did
glass
they
In
get
fact, me, I know
clearance.
Veni, even my few guys.
Yeah.
In this country, my friend,
Yeah.
anything can happen.
And they impersonated the voice of the president.
It is so possible.
It is sad that the office of the deputy president was behaving like
Yeah.
the headquarters of conmen in Kenya. It was very sad. In
My-
fact,
my-
if you ever ask anybody that feel like he has been gongwad in this town, a serious money, you'll trace it back to that office.
My- my- my-
I don't know whether-
Gentlemen, you know, like he says, by the way,
my-
gentlemen,
my-
are those
my-
things surprising? You
my
remember,
thing-
of course, we had that gentleman who was called Ato Lemayan, the one who was
When the one
supposed,
we picked from the
the guy who was dead and Kimathi, sort of, and lost. We picked him, paraded him, moved him around, only to discover he wasn't the guy. And it came from the highest office of the land.
My thing, my
You remember
There was
the
a budget
security
from
guard?
him. There was-
You remember the security guard in Kibaki's time who pretended for
Yes.
weeks, perhaps months or years as a
What was
bodyguard.
his name?
my
You
thing,
remember
my
the
thing
guy-
is,
Yeah.
What is his name? The guy was in jail, and I think he's still even in jail.
Waigajo.
Waigajo.
Yes.
What is new in this?
my,
All
my,
his
my,
life.
my thing is that in Kenya we've institutionalized bad manners until stealing is now normal. Everything is just normal. Even bad manners has become a norm in itself. A good manners, or as my brother puts it. And that a foreigner, or rather people who are interested in doing business with this country, can be ripped off in an office of reputation like that of a deputy president. Then how safe is a genuine Kenyan investor?
Okay,
That's
so
true.
Anish Mukia, speaking of how safe things are, today one of the hashtags trending is coronavirus Kenya. You know why it's trending? Because supposedly this morning a plane from China landed at the JKIA carrying 261 passengers, and apparently JKIA officials met the guys at the plane without any protective gear, without anything, and then the Chinese that were on board were told as they enter the country to quarantine themselves for 2 weeks. It has brought a huge hue and cry,
Joke ever.
because people are saying, look at the HM, so he's looking at me.
I'm thinking, should I leave Nairobi?
I looked at that
People
video.
are saying, how is it? In fact, if you go to Twitter right now, that's
Yeah.
a trending topic. Everyone's very worried. You know, because if you look at what is happening, I spent the day studying the coronavirus. And to be very honest, that town called Wuhan is not a town. It's a city.
It's a
bigger
whole
than
industrial
Nairobi
city.
by far. It's a city of 50 million people. It
It's
ain't
the
no joke.
population of Kenya.
It ain't no joke. It's a big place, and even the way things are being taken there, it's quite,
You know, don't even go very far. We need to be very candid.
Let me pause you so that when you come back, you'll get as candid as you want to be. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away.